Greetings shippers, welcome back, and it's time for another edition of Fic Rec Friday, the series where I share a bunch of recs with you. Some recced by me, others recced by you down those comments below. At the time of this recording for Fic Rec Friday, it's very close to Valentine's Day, so I was thinking, Valentine's Day Fic Rec Friday? It kinda happened. Some of these romantic, so it's low-key quasi-themed, but not really. Of course, because we're gonna be talking about fics, we're gonna do our disclaimer. You can expect to see a wide array of fics here on this series, and indeed just on this channel in general. If you were there for our first degree stream, you know what I'm talking about. That of course means we're gonna see some dark fics, some squicky fics, some uncommon tropes, some overplayed tropes, rival pairings, pretty much anything you can think of. All kinks, welcome here. So that of course means that must be reiterated that this is not a bashing space. If something seems like it may not be for you, well then hopefully one of the other recs will. There is no need to seek out reader, writer, wrecker for harassment. Different strokes for different folks. This is all about sharing all of the things that fandom has out there. And not all fandom is for everyone, which is perfectly fine. We don't all have to like the same things, but we can discuss it respectfully. Quick, lickety split because we want to get to the fix. But before we do, if you haven't already, please do follow on social media to stay up to date, know when we're streaming, and just come on over and chit chat about fandom. It is a good time, I swear. And now, let's dive into some of these sort of romantic fics. The first one's romantic, kind of, if you like this trope. This fic is called Hold My Hand Like You Mean It by T.D. Torrey. It is 10 chapters, word count 17,628. It is a Claire Temple and Matt Murdock fic. That's right, we're going over to the Daredevil TV series verse, the Netflix verse, the rapidly shrinking Netflix verse. Who else was here for Claire and Matt? It was one of those pairings where you know that canonically they're meant to be with other people, but the series is making such a compelling case that you're like, this is an alternate universe. Let the comics have that, we can have this. At least some people felt that way. There are many ships to explore in the Netflix verse. This fic is a slow burn and is gonna take us to a tried and true trope, the fake/pretend relationship. You know how these go. Someone needs to pretend to have a girlfriend or boyfriend for some reason or other, and that means they ask the other person, can they pretend? And it usually leads to things not being pretend for long. In this fic, it's Claire who needs the boyfriend. She's told her mom that she is dating someone and it's getting serious, but then her mom ups the ante and asks her to bring that boy home for dinner. Well, who better to ask than that local vigilante you happen to know? You know his secret, now he owes you, so he better come with you to dinner. It's all going well until Claire realizes it would be nice to have Matt be her boyfriend, and actually perhaps there was some tension there already that needs to be explored. It's exactly what it says on the tin. You know what you're getting with a fic like this, but sometimes that's part of the fun. Sometimes you just want to dive into that tropey wonderland. If you like fake/pretend relationships that are sweet and slow burn, this fic is for you. Boyfriend material Matt is sweetest Matt. Next up, we're hopping over to the Persona 5 fandom. Persona 5 graced the world with a lot of shipping potential and a lot of ships. And also, it gave the world some OT3s, and we're going to be exploring one of those today. This fic is called Equilibrium by Vanilla Wafer. One chapter, word count 11,854. This is an Akira or Joker fic/Ryuji/Anne. All three together. Why choose? Anne doesn't have to choose. Sorry, Makoto. Don't worry. You can be part of my rare pair that pairs you with a Kechi. There are plenty of ships to go around. This fic takes place during the time in the story where the Joker has turned himself in. It deals with Anne missing him, but also coming to realize that she has feelings for Ryuji. This fic is so masterfully done because it plays with the idea of all three discovering their feelings for each other and doesn't play it off as if Anne's just bored or simply missing Akira and that's why she goes for Ryuji. Instead, it plays with the idea that no, there's more there, and she just needed the Joker to be gone for a little bit to figure that out. But also while she's figuring that out, she figures out that Ryuji's feelings for him might also be very similar to hers. It's a very sweet discovery fic, and everybody's in character, and it's not judgy at all. It's very embracing of the concept and the idea of the three moving together naturally as the plot evolves. So if you like your OT3 fics where you like to see how they got together and how they discovered that they liked each other, well, this one is definitely for you. Honestly, this one is so well integrated, it almost feels like a missing scene fic. It's perfect for people who can't decide because the game is giving you so many options, but also so clearly ships Anne with Ryuji. The game creators have their own ships, but they still give you the choice to be with who you want, but they're hinting real hard. Next up, it's time to go the Once Upon a Time fandom. I can't leave this fandom alone. The series is over, but the fics will forever live on in my heart. This is a Captain Charming fic. Yes, the crack pairing of Captain Hook and Prince Charming. Listen, you're all just one good fic away from falling for a crack ship hard and taking it seriously. It can happen to anybody. No one is safe. This fic is called Back There With You. One chapter, word count 35,617. It's written by Captain Charming. So you know they know what they're talking about. They have taken the ship name as their name. It's serious business. This fic is a complete AU. So it removes the fairy tale stuff pretty much in its entirety. So of course for some that means they're out right away, because that's an intense AU and not everybody's up for changing the dynamics so much. In this fic, David and Killian are married and have been for a while. However, their marriage is on the rocks. David is an EMT and Killian is a fisherman, and one day he just up and left to go on this giant expedition, and he hasn't talked to David in months. Actually more than months. Years. This fic is a really well written exploration of a relationship that's just fallen apart, and both parties want to fix it and still love each other, but they're not exactly sure how. The action really kicks off when David decides that if Killian doesn't want to be around him so much, then maybe they should just get divorced. So he sends him some divorce papers. But that kicks Killian into action, because you know what? He wants this relationship. Maybe they can fix it. This is just a really heart-wrenching, honest fic. Feels very real. So if you're into that level of realism, this is a fic for you. It also works well with the characters. There are some other characters who are around, like Robin and Regina, and their personalities meld well. And if you want to, you can always pretend that this is just another curse. I mean, enough curses happen on the series. Practically every season there is a new curse, so why not? Because of how it's structured too, you don't have to worry with the whole where is Emma or where is Snow. So really, if those are things that are holding you back from this pairing, you don't have to worry about them in this fic, which can make it a good gateway for someone who's intrigued by the concept but also really likes the canonical concepts or the other fanon pairings. So yeah, check it out. This week we have 2 fan recs, because last week when I did the short video I had a bunch of you wreck your gateway fics, and there were some great gateways here, so I'm like, well, I've got to share some of these. They're probably going to be gateways for somebody else too. The first rec is taking us over to the modern BBC Sherlock TV fandom, which is still alive and kicking. This rec comes to us from Emily Lee. Summary: Sherlock's relationship has been progressing nicely, and that's the good part. The memories that follow are the bad part. For the first time in years, Sherlock needs his big brother. This is a Sherlock/John/Mary fic, where Sherlock is dealing with trauma that he thought he had put behind him as their relationship is becoming more physical. He decides to seek out his older brother for advice. I love the bond between the brothers in this fic. This is I'll Tell You Secrets Best Forgotten by PT_Tucker. One chapter, word count 2,830. While this is an OT3 fic, that is very much on the back burner. Instead, you're focusing on the relationship between the brothers. So if you love fics about the Holmes brothers, which a decent amount of the fandom does, because this series really brought that relationship to the forefront in a way the previous series and the books don't. So if you like the idea that these two, dysfunctional as they may be, actually really love each other and are good brothers, then this is a great fic for you. It has very brotherly Mycroft. A Mycroft who has some emotional savvy that he's willing to exert to help Sherlock get through some trauma in his past. Read the tags. It's a very human look at the Holmes siblings, which some may feel is OOC and others may not. Also, series 4? What series 4? This fic doesn't know what you're talking about. It was written before though. But still, what series 4? This last fic took me some time, but boy, was it worth it. This fic comes to us from Katie Wright. A fic I would like to recommend is a Psych fic with the pairing of Chassis, Sean/Lassiter. First off, I just love this ship because I love the enemies/rivals to friends to lovers trope, and they have a great dynamic in the show. This is a hurt comfort sick Sean fic with an overarching mystery to solve on the side. It takes place when Sean has a burst appendix, which I think happens in season 6, so everyone has known each other for a while. The doctor comes in, tells Sean that while removing his appendix, they found that he had cancer. Sean, being Sean, decides to forego treatment and not tell anybody. Lassie is the only one to notice that something is wrong with Sean, and eventually realizes he is sick. He confronts Sean and promises to keep it secret. From there, shenanigans and mystery/crime solving and hurt/comfort and romance begins. This is I've Heard It One Way by Nephilim EQ. 45 chapters, word count 112,026 words. This fic has taken us purely into the Psych fandom. We have not been there before on this channel, but Psych was a fun fandom to be in. This show had a decent shipping contingent. People were really invested for a while. During that period of fake psychic crime dramas that was going on, Psych was up there. There was a bit of a toss-up between whether you liked Psych, The Mentalist, or Monk, which wasn't a pretend psychic, but was in the same vein. This is, of course, a Chassis fic. That was the dominant pairing in this fandom, and I have to say, this fic made me smile for so many reasons. Firstly, the title, which is a play upon the phrase they say in the series all the time, which is I've heard it both ways. I'm actually such a Psych nerd that I have a Psych themed nail polish that I'm wearing today that is called I've Heard It Both Ways and is meant to be modeled off of a bit of a pineapple, so it's like a pineapple-y gold. That's right. This series has a special place in my heart. Everybody has those series that for whatever reason, even if they're not the best series out there, they speak to them or have a special place. For me, this is one of those series that my mom and I watch together. It's just our thing. Sometimes you have a show where you just click and you're like, this is our show. This, White Collar, they were up there. So when I was reading this fic, it made me smile because I was just thinking my mom would love this fic. So this is a sick fic, and it has the tag angst with a happy ending, which means that you can go dark, 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 but it's gonna be okay because at the end, it's all gonna work out. Use that Don Bluth logic. For people watching this series, they felt there was a lot of banter and chemistry between these two. But the series can also get serious. As for as jokey as it was, when it went dark and wumpy, it went dark and wumpy. Those episodes were always a reminder that this series could have been played a lot more serious than they actually did. And fics like this really tap into that duality of the lightheartedness, but also the potential for darkness. And everybody is in tone, and the jokes and the banter work. When you're writing a fic about a very bantery show where the characters are sassy, sometimes it can be difficult to match that level of humor because humor is very subjective and everybody finds different things funny. But this fic feels very much in tone and character. It's a bit of a longer one, but I would definitely recommend it. And if you haven't checked out anything in the Psych fandom, this is a great place to start. Yeah, you're kind of jumping in the middle, but it really gives you a feel for the characters and how intricate and interesting the works can be. Also, it's got cute little themed manips. Who can resist that? So that's it. Was it romantic? Are you romanced? Well, hopefully at least you found some fics that you want to check out. And please continue to leave your recs down below. I always appreciate it, and I did receive a bunch of emails from you, and thank you for that as well. Just fics, more fics. I need all the fics. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend it discussing fics with me. I always appreciate it. There are of course more videos coming soon, so subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you never miss a vid, because you don't know what's coming. It's sporadic here, except for on Fridays, which is Fic Rec Friday. I will of course see you all again when I can, and until then, let's get to that outro. Bye-bye. This has been Shipper's Guide to the Galaxy. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Special thanks to all of my patrons, names on the side, for helping to make these videos possible. There are, as always, more videos coming soon, so until then, stay tuned, for there are as many ships out there as there are stars in the sky.